all know what festival is coming up?
Onam.
Onam. And do you know where Onam is celebrated?
Kerala.
In the south part of
India. Exactly. So it's celebrated in Kerala, the southernmost part of India. And today I'm going to tell you, I'm actually very excited to tell you the story of Onam. Ready to hear?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So once upon a time, long ago, there lived a king by the name Mahabali. Mahabali was a great ruler. He actually ruled the state of Kerala, the southernmost part of India. Now, he was the king of Asuras. Asuras are considered generally to be bad people or the evil people. But Mahabali was an exception. He was a kind-hearted, generous and a great ruler. And under his rule, the entire state of Kerala or the kingdom was very happy. And the people were extremely prosperous. And can you tell me some of the things that are needed to be, to have a happy and prosperous place?
Money,
Money, yes.
food,
Food, of course.
shelter,
Shelter, that is the house, yes. So it is believed that under the rule of Mahabali, there was no misery, there were no thieves, there was no poverty. Everybody in that kingdom lived a life of happiness and prosperity. Now Mahabali was also the king of Asuras, and he was a great warrior too. So he waged wars against the gods and conquered all the three worlds. What are the three worlds of Indian mythology?
Heaven, earth, and Pataloka.
Yes, heaven, earth and Pataloka, or we say the netherworld. These are the three worlds. And Mahabali managed to conquer all these three different worlds, and he was a emperor. He was like the great ruler of all the three worlds. And everyone in these three worlds were happy and prosperous, and the whole three worlds just thrived under the kingdom, under the rule of King Mahabali. Now the gods themselves grew a little insecure and jealous, thinking, oh no, if everybody is happy under this king and king is giving whatever these people need, how will these people ever pray to us, the gods? The people will not have any needs and nobody will pray to us, right? So the gods were very insecure and jealous of the king Mahabali. So as usual, all these gods, they went to see Lord Vishnu and gave him a complaint. See, because of King Mahabali, nobody is even praying to us, nobody wants us anymore. And Lord Vishnu pacified all these other gods and said, don't worry, I will take care of this King Mahabali. Saying this, Lord Vishnu took his fifth form of avatar, which is in the form of a young Brahmin boy, and he was also a dwarf by the name of Vamana. Okay, and he proceeded towards earth to meet Mahabali. Unknowing of this conspiracy that is going on in the heavens against him, Mahabali back in the earth, he was doing a yajna in a yajnashala. It's a form of ritual. Okay, and to this yajnashala walked in a young, radiant Brahmin dwarf boy. Who was him? Vamana, who was none other than the Lord Vishnu himself. So Vamana walked into the yajnashala. Now Mahabali was a generous, kind-hearted soul, right? And he sees this young Brahmin boy enter the yajnashala. So he goes and he welcomes the boy in and he says, please sit down. What is it that you've come for? What is it that you need from me? Tell me and I will give it to you. So Vamana replied to Mahabali, oh dear benevolent king, I am a poor Brahmin boy who has come from very far away, and I need to ask you something. And I've heard great things about you. I've heard that you're a kind person, you're a generous person. I'm here to ask you something. Mahabali said, of course, young Brahmin boy, ask me anything. I am the great King Mahabali. There's nothing in this world that I cannot give it to you. You ask me and I shall grant it to you. Then that boy said, oh, all I need is 3 footsteps of land to sit and pray. That is a very reasonable request, right? The young Brahmin boy is asking for 3 footsteps of land so he can sit and pray. But on seeing this, Guru Shukracharya, who was the saint of Asuras, he felt there's something fishy and he went and advised the king, wait a minute, before you listen to this young boy, I think there is something, this is a ploy, and I think that you should not listen to this young boy. Mahabali laughed at Guru Shukracharya. He said, please, what harm can this small boy bring to me? After all, I am the great king Mahabali, right? And all he is asking for is 3 footsteps of land, which is fairly reasonable. Let me give him what he is asking for. And besides, till date, I have not denied anything to anybody. So it's actually a sin for me to deny someone something that they are asking for. So on saying this, Mahabali ordered one of his soldiers, hey soldier, why don't you measure 3 footsteps of land and give it to this young boy? But that boy stopped the king. He said, stop there. I want to measure the footsteps of land with my own foot. I don't want the soldier to measure it for me. Mahabali thought, he's a dwarf, he's a young boy and his feet is so teeny weeny little. How much footsteps of land can he measure? So thinking that, Mahabali said, yeah, go ahead, measure. Now, to everyone's surprise, this young dwarf Brahmin boy, he just grew in size and he took a gigantic form. The gigantic form was to the proportions of cosmic proportions, that huge. And this huge cosmic proportions of this Vamana is actually called as Trivikrama. And he started measuring. With his 1 foot, he covered the entire heavens. With his 2nd foot, he covered the entire earth and the nether world, the Patal Loka. Now 3rd foot, where will he place? He doesn't have any place to keep the 3rd foot. So he asked the king, where shall I place the 3rd foot? You promised that you will give me 3 footsteps of land. I used the first 2. Now 3rd foot, where am I going to keep? So by then, Mahabali also realized this was not an ordinary human. He bowed his head down in front of Vamana and said, put your foot on my head. This is your 3rd footstep. Then Vamana actually showed his true form, which is that of Lord Vishnu. He became huge and he was showing himself as Lord Vishnu. And Mahabali knew this was Lord Vishnu himself. So he joined his hands in prayers. He bowed down in front of Lord Vishnu and he said, I have a request, dear Lord. Before you push me down to the nether world, to the Patal Loka, please allow me, grant me the wish that I can come back once a year to visit my kingdom and the people of this kingdom whom I love very, very much. Moved by this king's love for his kingdom and his subjects, Lord Vishnu granted him that his wish. And on saying this, Vamana put his foot on the head of Mahabali, pushed him down all the way to the nether world, and Mahabali disappeared from the face of the earth. He now lives in nether world, Patal Loka. And every year in the month of Chingam, on Thiruvonam day, Mahabali comes up from netherworld back to the earth to the state of Kerala to see his kingdom and the subjects whom he had loved very much. And people of Kerala, the entire state of Kerala and all the Malayalis who live all around the globe do elaborate preparations to welcome their favorite king back. And what do? We welcome the king by placing layers of floral carpet of beautiful, beautiful designs and this is called Pookalam. And on the Thiruvonam day, Malayalis generally we wear new clothes and we prepare a lavish feast called Sadhya and we eat on the banana leaf. And Mahabali, when he returns to back to the earth on Thiruvonam day to see his people, is extremely happy to see, oh, the people are now continuing to live in that luxury, in that happiness, in that prosperity. Everybody is eating feast, everybody is wearing new clothes. Mahabali feels very, very happy. He blesses all of us, is very happy and he returns back to his netherland. And this is how we celebrate Onam every year. So, to welcome our favorite king, Mahabali. This is the story of Mahabali. So, very, very, very happy Onam to you and to your family.